Hello everyone, welcome to Smart English Stories. Today I have something very special for you. The topic for today is Welcome to My Home Now. Why should you listen to this story? Because today we're going to learn English in a fun way, step by step, with new words and sentences to use every day. You'll get tips on how to make English easier. And remember, stay with us till the end, who knows? This might be the change you need in life. Let me start with a question. Have you ever entered a house and felt like it had a secret? I remember that feeling the day I stepped into this place for the first time. Now, before I say more, let me tell you about that day. My name is Lucy, and this story is about the home that became my life's biggest mystery and my place of dreams. One quiet evening, I was just moving into this house, an old, warm-looking place with big windows, wooden floors, and walls that seemed to whisper stories of the past. The moment I opened the door, I felt something strange, like this house had been waiting for me. I could almost hear it say, "Welcome, Lucy." And this was not just any house. There was a room in it that always stayed closed. It had no key, and no one could open it. I tried, believe me, but the door wouldn't budge. One night, I was lying in bed when I heard a soft sound coming from that room. Thump, thump. I was scared, but also curious. The next morning, I decided to explore the house more. I started from the living room. The walls were filled with old photos, bookshelves with dusty books, and a little table with a candle that looked like it hadn't been lit in years. Each object told a story. I imagined all the people who had lived here before me, each leaving a little piece of their life behind. And that thought made me feel connected to them, even though I'd never met them. Now, let's pause here and think, what did I do in English here? I used words like whisper mystery and curious. Try saying them with me. Practicing these words will help you, too, to express yourself more clearly. And sentences like I felt connected or each object told a story. These are sentences you can use in your life to describe feelings and experiences. As I walked around, I began to feel something soft and warm in my heart. It was as if this house wanted to protect me, to teach me something. And maybe, just maybe, it had its own lessons about life and kindness. One day, as I was sitting in the kitchen, a little bird flew through the open window and landed right on my table. It looked at me with bright eyes, almost as if it had something to tell. For some reason, I felt comforted, as if this bird was a friend coming to check on me. And I thought, maybe this house is not haunted. Maybe it's a friend too. So from that day on, I decided to call this place my friend's home. Now, why is this important for you? Because just like my home had many secrets, Every language, especially English, has its own secrets. When you explore a language with curiosity, every word and sentence becomes a new adventure. And when you practice every day, these words become like old friends you trust. So, as you listen to this story, remember that learning English is like exploring a beautiful, mysterious house where every room opens up to a new discovery. Back to my story one day, while cleaning, I found an old diary hidden in the corner of a cupboard. The cover was old and torn, but I could see the name written on it, Amelia. Amelia, what a lovely name. As I opened the diary, I could see beautiful handwriting, words flowing like a gentle river, filled with dreams, fears, and secrets. There were stories of Amelia's childhood, her dreams to see the world, her love for books, and her struggles in life. Reading Amelia's words felt like speaking to a friend, even though she was no longer here. I felt her joy, her sadness, her hope all in that little diary. Each page had a word or sentence that made me think, and I whispered them to myself to practice my English. Joy, hope, struggle, words that we use in real life, that connect to our hearts. Then one night, something strange happened. I was in the living room, reading Amelia's diary, when I felt a chill, like someone was standing beside me. I looked around, and no one was there, but I heard a faint whisper, almost like Amelia's voice, saying, "Keep going," and I knew that the house was telling me to keep learning, to keep discovering. Now I tell you this because life is like that. Sometimes you find yourself in a place that feels strange, new, even a bit scary. But if you stay curious, if you keep learning, you find beautiful moments, like little treasures hidden along the way. So, keep learning English with me, because this is your chance to explore, to make new memories, and to create something special. The next day, I found an old box in the attic. Inside it were letters that Amelia had written to a friend but never sent. In those letters, she shared her deepest dreams and fears. And you know what? Reading those letters taught me more about kindness, about love, and about patience than anything else ever did. Amelia taught me even though she wasn't there, just through her words. And that's what English can do for you. Through words, we can connect, understand, and feel even across time. So, take every new word you learn today and let it bring you closer to others, just like Amelia's words brought me closer to her. English is not just a language, it's a bridge between hearts. Now, the story doesn't end here. There are still many secrets in this house, still many words in English to learn. Every day, I discover something new, like a memory waiting for me, a lesson that wants to be learned. And I want you to keep exploring with me. Imagine what we'll find together in this journey of learning and discovery. Imagine what new words and sentences will become a part of your life. So, I invite you to stay with me, to keep listening and learning. Who knows what beautiful moments, what new friends, and what unforgettable memories are waiting for us. Every day in this house brought something new. I'd wake up, make myself a warm cup of coffee, and sit by the big window in the living room, watching the world outside. The sun would stream in, filling the room with a soft, golden light. And there, in that quiet moment, I felt the warmth of the house around me. It was like a gentle hug, reminding me that I wasn't alone. And each morning, I'd say to myself, "Good morning, my friend's home." One day, as I was exploring the attic again, I found an old music box hidden behind some dusty boxes. It was delicate, with tiny flowers painted on it. When I opened it, a soft melody filled the room. It was beautiful, almost magical. Listening to that tune, I felt my heart swell with emotions I couldn't describe: happiness, a touch of sadness, and a feeling of comfort all mixed together. I realized something important then. Life, just like language, is full of small, precious moments that can teach us so much. And with English, you can capture those moments. Think about it: each word you learn, each sentence you practice, can help you share these feelings with others. You'll be able to say things like, "Today, I felt a gentle hug from the world," or "This song touched my heart." And that's the beauty of learning English. It's a tool that brings you closer to people, even to strangers, like Amelia became a friend to me through her diary. One evening, as I was reading by the fireplace, I heard the sound again from that mysterious locked room. Thump, thump. It was faint but clear, like someone tapping on the other side. I stood up, my heart racing, and walked toward the door. I pressed my ear against it, and suddenly it felt like the house was whispering something to me. It was as if it was saying, "Keep going, Lucy. Keep exploring," and so I promised myself that I would. The next day, I decided to explore a little deeper. I found a small, hidden door in the hallway that I hadn't noticed before. It led to a tiny, cozy room with walls covered in faded wallpaper and a little window that looked out onto the garden. There was a single chair and a table, as if someone used to sit there often, watching the world go by. I sat in that chair, feeling like I was seeing the world through someone else's eyes. In that quiet moment, I felt connected to everyone who had lived in this house before me. I realized that learning English is a bit like that, too. Every word, every sentence is like a window, letting you see the world from someone else's perspective. When you say, "I feel happy," or "I am curious," you're sharing a piece of yourself with others. just like I was discovering pieces of Amelia's life in this house. One evening, I lit the candle on that little table in the corner of the living room. The room felt warm, and as I sat there, I thought about all the words Amelia might have spoken here, the laughter, the tears, the dreams she shared with these walls. And I realized that every home, every language has its own magic, its own way of bringing people together. English, too, has its way of making us feel closer, even when we're far apart. I invite you, as you listen, to imagine a special place of your own, a place where you feel safe, curious, and connected. Picture yourself there, learning new words, practicing sentences, and growing. Because that's what learning English can be, a journey that's as beautiful and comforting as a cozy home filled with memories. And remember, my story is still unfolding. Each day, this house and I share new secrets, and each day, I find new reasons to feel grateful for this journey. So, I ask you to stay with me, to keep learning, and to let English bring a little more magic into your life. Let's continue this adventure together, because who knows what wonders await us. The days in my friend's home kept unfolding like pages of a story. Each morning brought new surprises and quiet, heartwarming moments. I began to feel like the house was teaching me something important every day, as if each corner held a lesson in life and language. One rainy afternoon, I was sitting by the window watching the raindrops trickle down the glass. The garden outside looked so calm and fresh, with the flowers gently nodding under the weight of the rain. As I watched, I remembered something Amelia wrote in her diary: "Rain washes the world." Just like love washes the heart, reading those words had made me feel warm inside. And I thought to myself, isn't learning English a bit like that, too? Each new word, each sentence washes away a bit of our fears and fills us with hope. It helps us feel more connected to the world around us. I decided that day to write a note to Amelia, even though she wasn't here. I wrote, "Dear Amelia, your words have given me hope. Thank you for sharing your heart." And as I placed the note back in her diary, I felt a sense of peace. The simple act of writing, of sharing my thoughts, was like a bridge connecting us, even across time. I think English can be that bridge for all of us. Every new phrase you learn, every sentence you practice, is like reaching out your hand to someone, letting them see your thoughts, your feelings. When you say, "I'm happy," or "I feel scared," you're sharing a piece of yourself. And when others understand, you feel a little less alone. Then one day, as I was dusting the bookshelf, I found a small, framed photograph tucked behind some old books. It was Amelia. Her warm smile and kind eyes looked back at me, as if she was saying, "Hello, friend." Seeing her face made everything feel real, as if she was sitting right there with me. I kept that photo on the table in the living room, next to the candle. Every time I looked at it, I felt inspired to keep learning, to keep sharing my story, just like she had. One night, while reading by the fire, I suddenly heard a soft creak from the mysterious locked room. My heart skipped a beat. The house was quiet, except for the faint rustling from that door. I stood up and slowly walked toward it, my hand trembling as I touched the doorknob. And then, a feeling washed over me like the house was telling me, "Not yet, Lucy." There's more to learn, so I let it be, promising myself that I would keep searching, keep growing until the right moment came. I realized that life is like that too. Sometimes we're curious and eager to understand everything, but life has its way of teaching us, one step at a time, and with English, it's the same. Each word, each sentence is a small step forward. There's no rush. Every lesson, every practice brings us closer to fluency, to confidence. Just as the house was slowly revealing its secrets to me, English will reveal its beauty to you if you stay patient and keep practicing. A few days later, while cleaning the kitchen, I found an old recipe card with Amelia's handwriting. It was a simple recipe for cookies. Her notes read, "Add a little more sugar if you want them extra sweet." Smiling, I decided to try it. As I mixed the ingredients, I felt a strange joy, like I was cooking with a friend. And as the cookies baked, the house filled with a sweet, warm smell that made everything feel so cozy. When I tasted the cookies, they were perfect, soft, warm, and comforting, like a hug. I thought about how language, too, can be like this, sweet and comforting. With each word you learn, you add a bit of warmth to your world, a bit of sweetness to your life. And when you share that with others, you're giving them a taste of your thoughts, your feelings, your kindness. That night, as I sat by the fire with a plate of cookies, I felt a deep sense of happiness, a simple, quiet joy. And I wished that everyone could feel this way, connected, safe, and full of hope. So, I decided that from that day on, I would keep learning, keep exploring, and keep sharing my journey with you. Because this journey isn't just mine, it's ours. And just as the story of this house continues, so does our journey with English. Each day, each lesson brings us closer to understanding, to connection. So, I invite you to keep going with me, to open new doors, to discover more of this beautiful language, and to let it bring warmth to your life, just as this house has done for me. There are still many rooms left to explore, many words left to learn. And together, who knows what we'll discover? This is just the beginning of a beautiful journey, and I can't wait to see where it takes us next. So, let's keep going, hand in hand, heart to heart, and let English light the way forward.